Hey, welcome back to another edition of Dan Factoids, in which we address issues related to diving safety and of common concern to divers. In this case, we're going to be talking about antidepressants and mental health conditions in general. Keep watching. In this specific edition, I'm going to address one direct question and then generalize. The direct question is a diver who has been on what we call an SNRI, which is a fancy way of saying serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. So what it means is that two of the neurotransmitters in the brain, serotonin and norepinephrine, are actually deliberately prevented from being recycled, if you will, back into the neurons, and in the process you thereby extend their effect. The net result, as we understand it at least, is that allows the positive effect, in other words the antidepressant effect of these neurotransmitters, to actually be more effective, particularly if people have lower than normal amounts of these antidepressant neurotransmitters. So in principle, I can tell you that the attitude about mental health in general has changed enormously. 20 years ago, if someone just mentioned the word antidepressant or depression, then they were barred from diving. Nowadays, people are allowed to fly commercial aircraft and take on quite high responsibility positions, even if they are on antidepressants, because they have stood the test of time. But there is a requirement that the individual must be fully stabilized as determined by a clinical psychologist and a psychiatrist. If they are convinced that the individual does not pose a suicide risk, because that's one of the things we're concerned about, and secondly, that the depression is actually treated, then there is no longer a specific reason why the individual cannot dive. But it's a thing that needs to be individualized, and therefore we always recommend that you should go and see a diving physician to put all this information together and then ultimately do what we call a risk assessment, because we want to individualize it for you. Is it safe for you to go back to diving, not just the medication that someone is taking? Hope that makes sense, and until next time, safe diving.